Hey guys, it's Luke here from LT Gaming, and I'm back. And I'm playing Stranded: Alien Dawn. Probably one of the best early access games I've ever played. It's basically totally playable in its state right now, and if they continue to improve on this formula, then I'm going to be pretty damn excited. Welcome to my colony on a distant planet, a strange alien planet among the stars where we've been stranded. As you can see, we've actually set up a pretty thriving colony already. Well, I say already, I've been playing this game for 40 hours, which is insane. I started with a few scrap metal storage huts and some beds that were inside of them to keep my colonists safe from the elements, and I have now expanded out into wooden, stone. I have farms, I have a full perimeter around my colony, and I also have my trusty expedition balloon, where I can set off on expeditions to find resources and other survivors. The premise of the game is you start off by picking a number of survivors to crash land on a planet, and then you basically help them to survive. During that process, you gather and salvage resources, you research different items to gain new knowledge, and then you start to build your thriving colony. There's so much in this game and so much great detail that I don't even know where to start. Like, even the heating system, right? I have installed these heating stoves in my buildings to keep my colonists warm during the very brutal winter, which is... I've just survived my first winter, and wow, it was tough, right? A lot of my people got sick. But then the air can pass through vents. You've got to close windows to keep the heat in, and there is different temperatures in each area. So right now, it's 30 degrees in here, maybe a tad warm for my colonists, but outside it's 8 degrees, and you can see that in the top left-hand corner. 27 degrees inside, 8 degrees outside. In winter, that got pretty tough. As a result of my research, I've also set up a solar panel system with these power poles that bring electricity to lights inside of my buildings, which keep my colonists happy, heaters to keep them warm, fridge freezers to keep my food fresh. And as you can see, we go into the fridge freezer and we have a number of different items in here. Sweet syrup, raw red meat, and basically being inside the freezer means it's frozen and won't go off. As you can see, one of my colonists is at risk of a meltdown, as you have to deal with various different elements to keep them happy. At the moment, he's extremely hungry because he's been out in the cold, he's not taking care of himself, and he's at risk of a meltdown. Now, don't be too concerned about that, because meltdowns happen on quite a regular basis in this game, and eventually you can either knock your colonists out, or they will have a period of catharsis where they suddenly feel better and come back. But honestly, I have had some real touch and go moments in this game, especially when I ran out of antibiotics. That was a real problem. It's the little bits of attention to detail in this game which are just absolutely crazy. Like when my colonists talk to each other and build better relationships, they play darts, they do shooting. There's just so many great moments that I've had. It looks really good, I think. You look like you're on an alien world, and the roadmap is truly impressive. I've played for 40 hours, and this is as far as I've got. Now, I was alt-tabbing in and out in that time. I wasn't playing for a solid 40 hours, but still, I've put quite a bit of time in. And the fact that I have trees, I have blade grass, plenty of grain cob. Honestly, get this early because it's vital for antibiotics, and I almost got caught out with that. But yeah, overall, such a great game. Essentially, my colonists are going about their daily chores, and I can manage them and their job schedules. I can also make them work on different activities, and they have different sets of skills. So for instance, if I need someone to do the cooking, Emmeline is definitely the person who should be doing that with a cooking skill of 6. Whereas if it's hunting, then Jack is the man for that job with a physical or combat score of 7. So there's lots of different things going into the game. You can remove a lot of the UI elements, and some of the interactions that I've had, like at the end of the year, my colonists decided that they were going to have a get-together because they survived, and actually have a New Year's party with fireworks, which was, honestly, I enjoyed that moment because we really did have some touch and go moments along the way. But as you can see, they're going about their different chores, doing their jobs, transporting their materials, cooking food, and eating and basically surviving as they go. Now, as you can see, I've moved into the spring now. It should be an easier time for me. Winter was brutal, and we had to make sure that all of my colonists were kept warm and cozy. Okay, we've just researched first aid kits, so now I can go to the research screen and I can pick something new. And I think we're going to go for a cereal coffee to keep my people happy. Essentially, the best elements of this game are the survival and crafting elements. It's really fun. The worst element of this game is the creature attacks. So what actually happens is, randomly, every so many days, a bunch of creatures will suddenly appear and decide that they want to attack my colony, and then they attack you. And you have guns and different weapons to fend them off. You have to craft bow and arrows once your lasers run out, and you have to basically fend for your base. You can also build defenses. I found this element to be a little weak, if I'm honest. The creature attacks are just a little bit boring at the moment, and not the selling point for this game. If you look over here, there's lots of different crazy creatures that you can observe, hunt, and you can use for different effects. And you also have guys like this who will be peaceful, but will definitely attack and come and eat your crops, which drives me insane. I had about 6 of them come over and start eating all of my crops. So basically, I then had to build a fence around the entire perimeter. So guys, I just can't recommend this game enough. It's $29.99 on Steam. It's an absolute blast. I love it. I'm addicted to it, and I warn you, that is the problem with this game. It is massively addictive. Dealing with all the relationships between your colonists, finding out new things. I mean, it's great, and it's little bits of attention to detail, like I said. If my colonist walks in this door now, and then walks in this door into the bedroom, it will disturb this colonist and lead to a negative effect. So what I'm going to plan to do is break out the bedrooms, give them all equal space, so they're not disturbed by noise. And there's little bits I've discovered along the way and have observed in this game, which is an attention to detail like no other. I really hope they build on this. It's an incredible experience. This is really just a first impressions and just encouraging you to go out and get the game, but I hope to cover it in more depth and do a full review in the future. So anyway guys, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, especially if you've played the game. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, I've been Luke from LT Gaming, and I'll catch you on the next one.